Okay, this video is for ECA prep purposes. We will be writing an essay for the English 10 ECA. And when we do it, we need to have awesome sentence structure. I've already shown videos on how to use positive phrases and transitional phrases. Now we're going to use awesome semicolons, or as somebody calls them, the sexy semicolon. Anyway, why do they call them the sexy semicolon? Well, when you actually look at the semicolon, it's winking at you. Long story short, then, we have to use sentence variety when we write, and it's actually more effective to do so. And it also gives clues to the reader. So there are other functions for semicolons, and I'm not going to focus on those for today. The number one function we are going to focus on for today is going to be when semicolons equal periods. Sometimes you have two sentences right next to each other, and they both contribute to the same idea. They're both related, and that's one of the rules that you have. There must be a relationship between these two sentences, a direct relationship. That will help the reader understand what's going on, and when they see the semicolon, they automatically know that this sentence is related to that one. So this is how you can effectively use semicolons in your writing. And by the way, there's going to be a grammar question on the ECA, because there has been pretty much every year, about semicolons and whether a sentence is right. So we're going to, I'm going to write a few sentences and give you examples on how to use semicolons. So the first example that I'm going to talk about then is I don't know, I'll pick any topic up. I used to coach football, so we'll talk about that. Football is a great sport to coach. And now what we can do is, instead of a period, we can put a semicolon here, because the next sentence is going to be related directly to it. So we put semicolon, which it's the comma with the dot over the top of it. Football is a great sport to coach. However, and all the football coaches out there in the world, they know what I'm talking about. However, it is challenging and time-consuming. So what we've done is we've established a pattern for the reader. We know that, here's the subject: football is a great sport to coach. But when they see this, they automatically know that the next sentence is going to be directly related. I also want to point out an editing point. This H should be lowercase, the way that it is. Because even though it's a new sentence, it isn't its own sentence. The semicolon isn't as powerful as a period separating two sentences, which is why we don't put the uppercase there. So nonetheless, football is a great sport to coach, semicolon. However, comma, and it's our transitional phrase, however, it is challenging and time-consuming. So on both sides, we have complete sentences. The difference is that they're directly related, and that's why instead of using a period at this point, we're using a semicolon. So that's how you use a semicolon. Another illustration then. Teaching is a constant state of learning. Semicolon. And this should be lowercase, so I screwed that up already. We're going to erase it. Even as students learn, so do the teachers. And in this case, then, we look at this and we go, okay, we have a sentence. We now know that the semicolon tells us that the next thing is going to be a complete sentence and a complete thought. And then the second half of this is its own sentence. And the reader can infer correctly that this sentence on this side will be directly related to this sentence on this side. So semicolons are really handy when you've got two similar thoughts right in a row. You got two examples right in a row. Or you even have, here's a this is a really good example here, because we have a statement on one side, and then on the other side we have approved. So that's also a good relationship between the two sentences when you're using a semicolon. So that's how you use semicolons effectively in writing. It's how you show sentence variety, by being able to understand how a semicolon works and what it tells the reader. So when you do your ECA essays, and when you write in just your classes in general, if you have two related sentences in a row, instead of putting a period between them, you can put a semicolon, and that would be highly effective. Please start using the sexy semicolon today.